another review, this time on the Batman Arkham Origins Series 1, The Batman! The best 6-inch, 7-inch scale Batman figure I've ever seen in my entire life. Those are big words coming from the barrel snout, so let's get right to the review. And throughout the course of it, I'll be making different comparisons on the figure compared to the Batman Unlimited Mattel one. So let's start with the head sculpt. I really love it, just has the Batman look to it that just screams out at me. Very cool. I like how the eyes aren't as blue as the Mattel one. Kind of a bit creepy when they're that neon blue. Kind of looks like a cat in the dark. Like the mouth. I heard people say that the lips aren't painted enough, but you can totally tell the difference between the skin color around it and the lip color. So very cool. I like how they have the shading in there to make it look like he has a beard or a little bit of stubble from fighting crime on it. He doesn't have time to shave. On the side of his cowl and all over, there's a bit of dry brushing on his on the cowl to make it look really cool. Make it look like he's actually been out for a while fighting crime. It's because he's the Batman. Again, I really like his ears are really pointy and sharp. Kind of a good height, not too small, not too big. Really like it. On the lower part of his neck kind of turns into a different color, where it's more of a lighter darkish gray, and then it turns into his cape color, which is a solid black. Really like the bat symbol. Reminds me of the Batman Begins 2005 bat logo on his actual suit. Little straps going across holding the armor on the sides. Doesn't have any paint detail in there like on the buckles of a silver, but it's fine. Same nice detail continues on the gauntlets right there. You can see all the black straps going across, and maybe like a little bit of it's like softening on the side of it. You can see the palm is very nicely like a darker it's called a darker shinier black, as well as the knuckles on the front of it. Really cool abdomen section. Really like the design of the suit on the side. That's more of a revealing. The Under Armour underneath are probably more of a flexible section to allow more flexibility within the armored suits. Really like the belt design. Although I don't think it's the same color as it is in the video game. I think Batman Unlimited had it a better color because it was more of a bright silver. But sometimes in the game it might depend on what kind of lighting situation you're in. So still pretty cool. Really like the sculpt. Nice all little pouches all around. The bottom you can see like underneath his armor, which makes sense. All the little wrinkles on there. Probably a little zipper on the top. I like the shading in between all the little armor pieces. All the little bolts that hold it all together. And the bottom of it just black boots, which looks really cool, and we'll get to articulation later. But then just silver on the tip of his toes. The back of his cape is really awesome. I really like it a lot better than the Batman Unlimited one, mostly because the big cape like that looks really cool. It had all the like catches in it to make it look like it was a more heavier leather, but at the same time it restricted any type of stance because it was way too big and way too heavy on the figure. But this one keeps it simple and nice, with just flowing all the way down to the floor, not even touching the floor, but very nice. You can see all the tips on the bottom, all the little wrinkles on the cape, really nice. Really nice shiny cape, kind of the same color as the top of the cowl. Very cool. If you lift the cape up, you can see a lot more detail on there, such as the back of it. Yep, you can see a lot more detail. You can probably see a lot of more flexible areas. What looks like more armor right here. The back of his belts, very cool. Everything just the bottom was, and the back of his boots with more straps on the back. Awesome. Really love the look of this figure. So articulation really kicks the butt of Mattel's, but although Mattel is pretty close to this one. So let's start with it. The head goes up that much, but the Batman Unlimited one had a bit more heights. Goes down really good for some angry poses, really cool, or brooding. His arms are on ball joints. Oh wait, you can kind of move his head side to side. You can kind of get some kind of a play with it. He has a ball joint that goes out on his arm. It goes out that much, and it goes down that much, and it goes forward up to the cape where it lets it, and it restricts it, but not that much. Pretty cool. He has elbow articulation that goes side to side, and it goes almost at a 90 degree, I think that is maybe, and it rotates at the same time. But there's no bicep due to the sculpt. There is no gauntlet articulation, but there is a really cool wrist articulation that DC Collectibles managed to put into it that by cutting the heights of the gauntlet where it stops right here, that way it allows it to go out and forward, unlike the Mattel one where it restricted even though it had the hinge. But it looks to be like on a ball joint at the wrist, so you can move it freely. He has a very nice ab crunch that you don't see much on DC Collectibles. To go down back very far, that makes up for the head articulation. Goes down it for any crouching poses, very cool. Doesn't interrupt any sculpting. And he has a waist swivel, which is pretty awesome. You can move it freely at 360. And he has legs to go in and out. Very awesome. That was a big thing for me. I really wanted them to do that. And they go forward a lot, at least decently, that much for kicking. And they go back very far, that much right there. But then you get kind of this gap in between, but still pretty cool. Now this is where it gets more interesting. Batman Unlimited decided that they wanted to, obviously they're going to cut the joint right here, but to make for a better looking sculpt, they added the articulation on the bottom of the knee with rotation that goes side to side like that. And get this, double jointed knees. What? Yes, Batman with a double jointed knee, very awesome. And then to make up even better, you can look at the ankle articulation. They've separated the bottom part of the armor into its own joint with a little ball right there. So it goes down that much, goes up. And ankle pivot! Yes, a Batman with an ankle pivot for a better stance. Finally, I've been waiting for that. So yeah, that's the awesome articulation on this Batman. Very much appreciated on the part of DC Collectibles. Thank you very much. And size comparison time. This time we'll compare him to the rest of the Arkham Origins line. Starting with Arkham Origins, the Joker, which I've reviewed already. So you can see he's much taller. And the review of him, I said how the New 52 was now he was taller than the New 52, so this looks a lot more better since he's a little shorter than Batman, how it should be. Next is the Arkham Origins Bane, which is right here. You kind of has to look up at him, which is very awesome. This Bane stands at like 8.5 inches or 9. Very cool. You can still buy him for a good price, the same as him. So I recommend this too. I also did a review on him. Next we'll compare him to the New 52 DC Collectibles Batman. So you can see he's actually quite a bit shorter than him. Ears are much longer, he's a much shorter. I like this one still much better. Next we'll compare him to the Arkham City Mattel 2-pack Batman and Robin, the Joker, right here. So you can kind of make that work. He's a little bit more scrawny compared to him because kind of looks like the Arkham Origins one is more buff, or at least more puffy in the outfit. Here we have the Marvel Select Spider-Man. So you can make them battle out if you wanted to. Alright, so this has been a review. I really recommend this guy. He has a lot of good paint after articulation, especially good considering it comes from DC Collectibles. I would give this guy a perfect 10 out of 10. Really awesome. Although I will not complain, but just say that I think the Batman Unlimited one did a really good job on the part of Mattel. And their paint maps might have been a bit closer, but does not beat this guy. It just doesn't come up against him like that. Anyway, Gato, what would you give him?
I would have to give him a 10.
A 10 out of 10. Very much perfect. The perfect Batman to get. This has been Gato Perro recommending this awesome figure. We'll see you next time with more stop motion and reviews.